Hello everybody and welcome to Level 5. I'm Level 5. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, video games and comic books. And today I want to dive into talking about some game ideas. How come we don't have many female-led superhero games? Female main characters in video games is such a huge thing at the moment and has been going on for years. I mean, we have the likes of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Last of Us now has Ellie as the main character and introduced Abby as kind of like the second main character, I guess. We have things like Horizon Zero Dawn, but we also have games where the girls also have big impacts, like MJ being playable in the Insomniac Spider-Man games. And when it comes in Spider-Man 3, when that eventually comes out, it looks like we're going to be able to play as a female character. So yeah, how come we don't have many female-led superhero games? Honestly, it's kind of sad. Don't get me wrong, bigger names do make bigger money, things like Batman and Spider-Man. It's only been the last couple of years that people have demanded other characters. We're getting a Blade game, a Captain America Black Panther game, and a Black Panther game. There's a massive demand for things like Deadpool and Wolverine, Nightwing and Superman, those sort of characters. But what about all the females? So in this video, I'm going to dive in and talk about 5 particular superheroes that I want to see female games for. When I say female games, I mean the female-led characters. They are the main character you play as. Now, when it comes to this list, there's no particular order. So let's dive in. And of course, in no particular order, my first spot, or fifth spot, however you want to list this, goes to Wonder Woman. Now, of course, there is talk about a Wonder Woman game, but nobody's heard anything. Wonder Woman really could work as a lead protagonist in a video game. First off, you have so much lore behind Wonder Woman. She's literally the daughter of a god, in technical senses. She has to fight Ares a lot, and things like this. You could even make it more DC orientated and rope in some other villains that aren't really related to Wonder Woman if you really wanted to. That would be kind of cool. But anyway, we have so much that we could do with Wonder Woman. The way I see the game working would be, think God of War, Guardians of the Galaxy game, kind of mixed in with the Batman fight mechanic. She is a heavy hitter, and she has lots of weapons. She has her sword and shield, her lasso of truth, she has her bracelets. You could fend off against humans, demonic creatures, you could have mythical things, god-like villains. Hell, Ares as a boss fight would be phenomenal. We could definitely have seen big baddies being defeated by little dudes. Look at Kratos. Yes, okay, he's built like a tank, but he's slain dragons, big massive gods, and all sorts of stuff. Bayonetta is a woman who literally has pistols as high heels with some other weapons, and she goes around taking down big angelic monsters. Devil May Cry is another example. There are ways that we could make a Wonder Woman game play very well. When it comes to the free roam aspect, I don't see a free roam aspect working with this, but I definitely see it if you wanted to give her different locations that she can free roam around, help people out, etc, etc. Think the way that God of War and God of War Ragnarok have done their free roam aspect. Yes, it's semi-free roam, but you have smaller maps that you can dive into. Wonder Woman would work so well with this. And on a side bonus, you could include Wonder Girl as well, as a side character you play as, or DLC, or a spin-off, just to bring up the Wonder lore even more. Of course, she would be a very hard-hitting character, so there'd be a lot of fun and a lot of interesting takes you could take on this. My fourth spot goes to Black Widow. Now, this would be a very stealth-based game. You could definitely do things very similar to the stuff like Assassin's Creed, the Batman Arkham stealth mechanic, and so forth, so on. I feel like it'd be very cool if we kind of got a storyline that implemented Black Widow as a shield agent, but Black Widow as a Black Widow. Give us 2 storylines at the same go. Jump us between both time periods. Show us actually able to kill people. Do we have to go off and assassinate people? I mean, hell, that's all Hitman is, isn't it? you could technically do something similar. But at the side note as well, another storyline you're playing at the same time is her as a shield agent, where she's not as lethal. She's doing more stealthier, non-lethal takedowns. Maybe she's using technology that isn't as lethal or deadly to humans. But when you are playing as the Black Widow, as the assassin version, using guns and stuff, of course, it would be a lot of gunplay, but think of stuff like Hitman, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, the stealth mechanics in Batman. She does use things like grapple hooks, tripwires, grenades, mines, guns. There's all sorts of gadgets, tasers, all sorts of things that you could implement. When it comes to her villains, there's several you could pick from. AIM, Hydra, hell, the people behind the Black Widow program. There's a lot you could do. When it comes to her fighting techniques and fighting skills, maybe just have it so she's very basic at first and you gotta level her up. Give her a skill tree, similar to like Batman and God of War and Spider-Man. Honestly, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Again, I don't see this being a huge, massive open world game. Superhero games don't need to be open world. Make this story driven. Give us levels. That's how a Black Widow game would work, personally, for me. Now, when it comes to our third mention, I really have to bring up Batgirl. Now, honestly, I personally just want an Arkham game that is Batgirl. Nightwing and Robin would be good, but they've got given a lot of spotlight throughout the Arkham series. There's obviously DLCs and parts where you get to play as the characters and stuff, but I want, personally, a Batgirl game. She's only ever had one DLC, and she's only playable there. Give us some more Batgirl attention. She was a lot of fun to play as in the Injustice game. There's obviously the technical side of things. She is basically just Batman, but it's the character herself that would make it more interesting. Her dad is Commissioner. Maybe have it so she doesn't want to tell Commissioner Gordon yet that she's Batgirl. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe that's the whole driving force is, you know, maybe her identity is about to get leaked. Or have it so he finds out in the game. We only got to see the Killing Joke sort of storyline adapted into the DLC of the Arkham game. But what about all the other storylines? Arkham Origins shows us a young version of Barbara. So there's a time period of how she becomes Oracle and how Batman first meets Barbara. But what about everything in between? Now, obviously, there is the opportunity to make a Batgirl game that isn't Arkham related. And they kind of did that with Gotham Knights. Again, she is the playable character there, but she's kind of sidelined to the other three characters who are all guys. Not only that, but we also have the aspect of, no offense, Gotham Knight isn't a great game. You have to do a whole bunch of tasks and upgrades just so you can glide, for crying out loud. Give us a really good Batgirl game. Give us some tech that only she would use. I mean, hell, you could even make it so by the end she becomes Oracle. There's multiple ways that you could do a Batgirl game. Personally, I'd love an Arkham game. We are getting another Arkham game, or we have got another Arkham game within the VR system, which is really dumb, by the way. But give us the attention to other characters. Yes, I'd love a Nightwing game. Yes, I'd love a Tim Drake, Jason Todd, hell, even Damian Wayne. But I'd also love to see Batgirl in the reins of the Arkham universe. I think it'd be really cool. You could also put a female in the role of the villain, the main villain, because no offense, it's all been dudes. Our fourth pick is Gamora. When it comes to Gamora, her gameplay would be very similar to that of the Guardians of the Galaxy game and God of War Ragnarok. Gamora, I feel like this has the perfect opportunity to put Gamora in the spot of before she was a Guardian. Give us a tale of when she was nothing but Thanos' lackey. Maybe have it so this story is a twist on the storyline of why she kind of like defects away from Thanos and goes off, and maybe she meets Star-Lord in the game or something for the first time. Have it so she's working with Nebula. Of course, Gamora is apparently the deadliest warrior in the universe, which kind of offers her with lots of different weapons, gadgets, gizmos, all sorts of stuff. have this be a story-based game. So you're going from one point to another, very similar to that of the Guardians of the Galaxy game. The Guardians of the Galaxy game is hated for no reason. It's actually a really good and fun game with a really good storyline. I want that just all focused on Gamora. If they wanted to implement the whole buddy system they did in Guardians of the Galaxy, give us some new characters, have Thanos' lackeys be them, or have Nebula involved. Honestly, I feel like Gamora would get a lot of good attention. One, Guardians of the Galaxy is a hit in the MCU. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did amazingly. But also, Gamora is a cool character. And she's a badass in both comic, game, movies, everywhere. I just feel like she's very lackluster in the game department. She's very cool, she's the deadliest assassin. Let's show her off in the game side of things. How deadly can she get? Because she's an alien in space, the bad guys and the villains could be everything from normal humanoid people with guns to big weird looking things. I mean, hell, in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, you fight Fin Fang Foom for crying out loud. So you literally could do absolutely anything with Gamora. I personally would like to see it before Guardians. But again, with my Black Widow idea, you could do the same with Gamora. Have Gamora be the main character, maybe not leading the Guardians, but she's working with the Guardians over here on this side of the storyline, but you're having flashbacks to when she was the deadliest assassin ever in the universe working for Thanos, and maybe the storylines are connected. That's a very good way that you can do it. And the last spot doesn't go to Marvel or DC. I wanted 5, and I didn't want to give one company more spotlight than the other, and I thought of one specific character that would work really well as a game. The Ranger Slayer. Now, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers does better in everything, annoyingly, to my digression, but yes, Power Rangers Mighty Morphin does better than anything else, and it always sells, but the Ranger Slayer is technically Mighty Morphin because it's a spin-off of Mighty Morphin. Shattered Dimensions, or Shattered Grid, should I say, was a huge, massive plot throughout the comic books. Draken is the main evil. Ranger Slayer would be a very cool game. You're playing as an alternative version of Kimberly, who starts off as Lord Draken's lackey, and then obviously decides to betray him and join the good guys. You could play that. Give us that as a game, I'd be happy. But you could also give us some other stuff as well, I'd be fine with that too. This Kimberly is a ruthless fighter. Her bow is even twisted, resembling her ruthlessness. We have games with good archery mechanics. Last of Us, Horizon, Lara Croft. I keep calling it Lara Croft. It's Tomb Raider. I just keep calling it Lara Croft. There are games with good bow mechanics. Give us that. Show us Kimberly. Show us the Ranger Slayer. And you could even implement some of the Guardians of the Galaxy buddy mechanics and the teamwork mechanics you have in like Insomniac Spider-Man and the Arkham games and stuff. You could actually have the other Ranger sentries that can come out and help you. Maybe you have the ability to like press a button and the Mastodon sentry comes in with like his big gun and just sprays people. You have the White Rhino sentry who can come in with like a big mech suit and just like barricade through people. The Red Tyranno sentry who come in with a spear. Who knows? There's other things you can do. When it comes to villains, it all depends on which sort of angle you want to take. If she's working for Draken, you could fight a bunch of good characters, take down SPD soldiers, you could take down other Rangers, that'd be really cool, different alternative Rangers. Or, if you're working for the good guys, you could fight Draken's army. But here's the thing, the Ranger Slayer and the whole Shattered Grid is all about the multiverse. So, for this game, if they decide to come up with their own storyline, you can make up your own twists on Rangers. Boss fights that we'll never see in anything else. Make it canon to the Ranger Slayer storyline. That'd be really cool and a very fascinating way to do the Ranger Slayer character. Honestly, I'd absolutely love it. But yeah, 5 female characters, superheroes, that deserve their own video games. Let me know what you guys think of my list. Of course, that's being Wonder Woman, we have Black Widow, Batgirl, Gamora, and the Ranger Slayer. Do you guys agree with my list? Do these characters deserve their own games? Let me know down in the comments below your top 5 female superheroes that deserve their own games. And should I do another top 5 of just other superheroes? Not female specific, just superheroes that deserve their own games. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Of course, check out the other content on this channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I love your roar of passion, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.